in leading to the domestic violence and the dissolving of the marriage that seems to be happening, from the day that you guys got married and you knew that there was something awry there, that it just wasn't a good decision, but you still tried to make it through. Throughout the marriage, you saw good and bad times that led to where we are today because of the experience of being a military family and everything. Can you share with us what actually you saw and what took place over periods of times? And, you know, you guys even had a child, you know.
When I first met him, he was all the things that I really wasn't myself. He was very confident. He was very outgoing. You know, he could tell a good story. I'm kind of quiet and kind of stay to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm smart, but I don't always articulate my feelings very well. And he was just so flamboyant and outgoing, and if you meet him, he's very charismatic and people are drawn to him. And like I said, he was pretty much everything that I was not. So I thought we balanced each other really well.
Opposites attract.
We did, absolutely, you know, and we had a good relationship. We had fun. He made me laugh. And our relationship progressed fairly fast. I mean, we lived together for a year and then had a child, then got married after that. We did it a little out of order, but we had our family. Almost from the day we got married, literally on the day we got married, I found out some of the things that he had told me during our early days in our relationship. I found out they were not true.
Okay.
There was some deception, and by the time I figured that out, it was pretty much awe-inspiring. I couldn't believe it. But he deployed almost immediately after we got married, and I just tried to figure out a way to make the relationship work.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'd been in the military, you know, for 10 years before I even met him, I made a lot of excuses, maybe for some of his bad behavior. I justified in my head why maybe he wasn't able to tell the truth, or why he had problems with alcohol, or why he just wasn't acting normally, because I thought, well, my goodness, you know, some of the things that these military guys see, there's just no way that they can come back completely normal. There's going to be some problems, and I made a lot of excuses for some things that he did throughout the years.
Right.
And
then, so how many deployments did you go through with him?
more than I can count, and that's just crazy to think that, but he went everywhere from East Timor. I mean, he did in his early days Somalia, he'd been to Desert Storm, he'd been to Iraq probably 3 or 4 times in our relationship before he did the 13-month deployment. He'd been on the ship for 6 months at a time twice, plus all the workup, so he was gone a lot of our relationship.
Okay. And again, he's one of the premier Marine snipers, and that in and of itself, he knows how to take out the enemy.
He does. He's
Did that ever scare you, in the fact that my husband is actually somebody who they call upon to take the enemy out?
It's a very awesome responsibility. It's a very scary reality. And it's something, for somebody who's sitting on this side of the world, who's not actually there, it's a very, very scary thought. It's hard for me to rationalize. It's hard for me to put into words and articulate how, for me, it feels. I know it's his job. I know that's what his responsibility is. That's what he's trained to do. But it's hard for me to justify the act itself. He stalked, he prayed, they trained him to shoot, they trained him to kill another human being. And how do I make peace with that? You know, because it's somebody's husband, it's somebody's child, it's somebody's brother, it's somebody's family member.
The enemy on the other side.
The enemy, you know, that he's trained to kill. And I have a true faith in God. It's a very, very hard thing for me to have to deal with. A lot of it is, okay, I try not to really think about it too terribly much, because I know that's his job, and I know that's what his whole purpose was to do. But
You have a belief in
and I have a belief in
freedoms for
protecting,
people.
you know, maybe taking one life to save many.
Right.
A lot of times that was a way I could make peace with it in my head. You know, they're taking out somebody who is perceived to be bad or they're told is bad to help the greater cause, whatever that cause
Right.
was at that time.